Hello guys, Mr. Max here from Reactionary Principle Gaming, and I want to talk about cliffhanger in role-playing game. And this is a topic that came about when I was streaming with Crispy last week. But I thought it was an interesting topic, interesting enough that it deserved its own video, because we just like talk a little bit briefly about it in a 2-hour stream, and I think this shouldn't be buried. Because Crispy asked me what I thought about cliffhanger in role-playing game, right? At first, I'd say, that's all right, right? Keep the player engaged and stuff like that. Keep them wanting to coming back. And then I thought about it a bit and say, you know what? I think they might actually not be that great for role playing. And the more I thought about it during the week, the more I started thinking like that they're probably kind of bad. I think the idea of cliffhanger is something that's probably like one of those advice that has been repeated mindlessly for like 40 years, right? And nobody really took the time to think about if they're actually good for role-playing games. And I guess they are right if you're just doing the board game stuff. But if you're actually interested in role-playing, I think it might be bad. Because you want your character to be immersed. You want your player to be immersed in the character, right? I often say like you want to hijack your own thought process and replace it by the thought process of the character. And you want to be emotionally aligned with the emotion of the character. And this can take time. When you get in the session, it can take a few minutes, maybe 20 minutes, right? Before you get immersed in the character, right? Just you slip in the skin. So now what happened? You do this session, and then something like pretty intense happened. Something that would deserve like a big reaction, right? And then before you can roleplay it out, you cut the session. And now you're gonna start the next session with that. When the player are at their least immersed. So you're kind of cheating yourself from the authentic reaction, right? You're kind of like moving away from the role play. Not only it's something that happened like directly after a big event, right? The exact result, the immediate result of something critical, basically. That's usually when cliffhanger happen. Now you should have like this big emotional reaction to it, but now it's delayed, and now you give the player a week to think about it, to cool off, to ponder, to craft and script his reaction. So when it's gonna come back, even if he's trying not to do, this is always gonna happen. It's taken in the back of your mind, and now you're like cogitating about the situation, right? And now you come back next week, and the reaction you have is not necessarily the authentic one that you had. Not only you come back with a cool head, but also maybe you didn't have the time to get like immersed back in your character, and now you have to react to this. What should be the climax? What should be like the peak emotional intensity of a scene, right? So you're cutting it off from the actual event. So I think that might work for TV show, but I don't think it's good for role playing. It's kind of like if you were with a woman that always like stop you before you can reach orgasm, right? Before you can climax, thinking that this is gonna get you to come back. No, you get the climax, and then that's your reward. And because that was good and satisfying, then you want to come back. So it's not like watching a TV show. You're not a passive participant. You're active in that sense, right? You're not just an audience member. So getting immersed and coming to completion of a scene, I think is the reward that's gonna the player come back. So I think that's something to think about. I'm not saying that they're always bad. I'm not like fully fixed on that. But now the more I think about it, the more I lean towards, cliffhanger, probably not great for role-playing game. It's probably one of that advice that have been repeated over and over again that should be discarded at that point. Let me know what you think. It's starting to rain now. Let me know what you think, actually to snow, in the comment down below. And maybe you have a different view and stuff like that. Like I said, this is just something that came to my mind while I was talking with Crispy, and I thought about it a little more during this week. But I'm not completely settled on my conclusion on this, so I welcome the discussion down below. Take care, guys.